On this episode of CedarSpringsTV Live, we'll be taking a sneak peek into the next school year, along with the added AP classes.
We will also be having a word with our high school football coach and following up with some unique musical interests outside of school.
To follow, we will dive into some of the staff's personal summer agendas for this year.
All this and more on this episode of CedarSpringsTV Live. I'm Skylar C.
And I'm Madison Souders. So, Skylar, have you gotten into any AP classes this year?
I have actually. I'm currently taking AP World History.
How's that been for you?
It's difficult and has definitely pushed me academically, but overall, I feel like it was a pretty good experience.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of AP classes, we will now turn to Clara Soda as she goes over the new added courses for next year.
This school year is coming to an end, and many students are preparing for their AP classes for next year. There will be new AP classes offered here at Cedar Springs High School, and some of the AP classes that were offered this year will be removed. We are going to ask some of the AP teachers about their thoughts on the new and already existing AP classes provided here at CSHS.
Favorite thing about AP Stats, ultimately what I really enjoy the most is the sense of community. We call ourselves the AP Stats crew. These are the only students in this building that really know the statistical language from the course, and that's kind of a special bond that we have, and we certainly spend a lot of time together struggling and learning throughout the course of the year. And so to walk away with that group of students having accomplished what they do throughout a year is definitely my favorite thing about the class.
I like teaching higher level courses because students are extremely engaged. My psychology course, I have a lot of students who either minor or major in psychology. They go into the field because they're extremely passionate about it. They want to know everything about it. They're extremely curious. So I think the self-motivation of the students and how they apply it to their lives makes it really an exciting learning community to be a part of.
So AP courses benefit in two ways. Number one, the rigor of the class is the highest rigor of any course offered here at the high school, which in preparation for college is vital. In addition, all students who opt in to taking the end of the year test, they take a national test, and if they score, in general it's a score of 3 or better. If they score that, then that qualifies them to transfer that course in for college credit.
Sure. The benefits of taking an AP class is that it decreases the amount of tuition because you can get college credit for it. It also is a college level caliber of a course, so kids who are interested in going to college could kind of transition into what a college course would look and feel like. The type of reading out of a textbook, the engagement, the projects, all of that is more along the lines of a college level course.
So we've got 12 AP courses at the high school this year. We've actually got some students who are taking AP tests that aren't even offered here. They do the course online and then they take the test. But we've got some of our consistent AP courses are AP Chem, AP World, AP Macro, AP Spanish. But like I said, we've got 12 that are offered this year. We offered a new one, which is AP Seminar, and next year we're adding 2, which AP Research, and then AP Psych.
We encourage all students to join AP classes because it's more beneficial for you and for your future life in college. Even though they may be hard, they still help you.
It's great to see all these new classes that will be added to our course. After this short break, we'll be covering more of this week's topics.
As of 2021, 690 million people are malnourished due to lack of food. World hunger has always been a problem, but it's just getting worse from here. Just from 2018 to 2019, the amount of people who were undernourished grew by a shocking 10 million. Being malnourished can stunt growth, cause organ failure, and of course, death. We all need to do our best to fight world hunger, whether it's donating non-perishable food, donating money, or even offering a meal. There's tons of ways we can help each other and save lives.
Welcome back. Moving on in today's episode, we will turn to Malikia Walker with musical interests outside of school.
Even through COVID, high school students have been pushing through the hard times to continue pursuing their passion for music. Today we'll be taking a look at two students from our very own Cedar Springs Red Hawk High School who participate in musical activities outside of school.
I was singing in my band when about 2 years ago.
I started producing music back in November of 2019.
About 4 years ago, I got started at a thing called Youth Ministries. My pastors figured out that I could sing, and then from then on, he'd always recommend me coming to the church and singing. And so now, ever since then, I've just came in and we just got connected with the worship team, and I've been a part ever since.
I started with a platform called BandLab, and I still use it, not as more now, but started with their loop packs.
My favorite part of being in the band is being able to sing for the audience and just getting really the music across to them. My favorite Christian singers are Lauren Daigle or Corey. Those are two very big ones that really hit the home.
My favorite part about producing music is probably the creative aspect. Music can be anything you want it to be. People that I look up to is definitely my cousin, and then mentors of Martine.
How long have you been singing for?
I've been singing for maybe since I was 11 when I really started singing, so it's been about 4 or 5.
Start making music?
I think it would have inspired me. As a lot of my family is involved with music. I've got a cousin that owns 3 music schools. I've got a grandpa that plays guitar, and I've got a dad.
There are about 6 to 7 people in my band.
Pretty much every streaming platform, any social platform, Instagram, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music.
This is Laura Vega with CSTV News. Recently, we sat down with the principal of Cedar Springs High School, Mr. Ronald Barenwald, to talk about what next year's school year might look like.
Yeah, in reference to the online school piece of it, we are offering an online school yet for next year, but there are more qualifications that would be applied than what we had this fall. So it's not going to be open to everyone. It would be only to those students who have demonstrated that online learning is a good way of learning for them, and it will be in a different format than what we've done. So it's not going to be offered through Graduation Alliance, which was the online service provider that we used this last year. It's going to be offered through a different organization, and this time it will also require students to report 2 or 3 times a week to an actual testing location to be able to do assessments and to check in with their mentors. After July 1 of 2021, that there won't be any more mask requirements. Now, that's all if everything keeps going in the right direction with, the mitigation of COVID-19, and it looks like it will be. So I honestly don't expect us to be having to wear face coverings this fall. The social distancing that we've had in the classrooms and in the lunchroom, really any place that we have students at, that one is one I'm really looking forward to see how they describe it in today's order from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. Yeah, so dances this year, again, due to executive orders and the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services orders, it clearly said in there that you could not do dancing because it did not abide by the social distancing. So that's why we didn't have a dance in the fall. That's what for homecoming, why we didn't have swirl, why Meyer Gardens canceled us for our prom, and why we were looking at the spring fling at the Lake Michigan Credit Union Ballpark. There was, you're right, a dance this last Friday put on by a parent group and took place with that. I think that everything went well there from what I'm hearing. Students had a really good time and all that. But I also think that the orders had changed quite a bit even during the most recent updates. So that made it, you know, great for that parent group for what they did.
Wow, next year's going to be a new feel for everyone.
Yeah, I'm excited. Now turning over to Peyton Claudy with This Week in Sports.
I'm Peyton Claudy, and this is CSHS TV Sports. With school coming to an end, spring sports are starting to wrap it up, and fall sports are preparing for their upcoming season. Let's take a look at Mr. Duke's experience with football with Charlie Whitten and Wyatt Cooper's story.
Well, since I was about 5 years old, I've been involved in football. My dad was the head football coach at the high school I went to in Howell, Michigan for 25 years and coached, I don't know, something like 40-some years overall. So I've been doing football for as long as I can remember. Pretty much the same thing. Like, saw what my dad was able to do, impacting lives, and loved the sport of football, and just like being around it, played it. Once I got done playing, still wanted to be involved, so started coaching, and have been doing it ever since. Well, no, yes, I guess, because when you become a teacher, you become a better coach. There's so many parallels between the classroom and the football field that it allows you to hone your craft, I guess, in both areas. But I started coaching before I was teaching, so from that perspective, I guess coaching kind of led me to teaching versus teaching leading me to coaching, maybe. My first year coaching was 1997, so this year will be my 24th year coaching high school football. Right now I coach the defensive backs and the special teams, but in 24 years I've coached every single position, and yeah.
Anywhere else before coming here?
I've coached a whole bunch of places. It's kind of a running joke on the staff that I think I've been, well, let's see, started in St. Louis, Michigan, then Howell, then Vassar, then Heartland, then Livonia Churchill, then Dearborn Divine Child, then Godwin Heights, now Cedar Springs. So I've been 8 places in 24 years. Yeah, and when I was in Heartland, we were district champs, and that year I was fortunate enough to be voted as a regional coach of the year. I am involved in the Michigan High School Football Coaches Association as an executive board member, so I've been on the board of directors for, I don't know, 15 or 18 years now, and as an executive board member the last few. I got involved because a guy that I coached with when I was in Vassar was on the board, and they had an opening, and I had already left Vassar and was in Heartland at the time, and he called me at one of their board meetings. They had an opening, and he had called and asked if I'd be interested in doing it, and I said yep, so I got involved that way, and I've been involved ever since. That's a good question. Technically I could retire in 7 years from teaching. We'll see. I don't have any plans to retire from teaching or coaching right now. I guess when it happens, it happens.
As for spring sports, softball had a doubleheader Thursday home against Big Rapids. The first game, Big Rapids won 12-1. The second game, Big Rapids won 14-0. On Tuesday, they had another doubleheader in senior night. The first game, Cedar won 8-3. The second game, Cedar won 12-6 against Kenowa Hills. Baseball on Thursday was home against Ottawa Hills. Cedar won 16-4. Monday's game was at Big Rapids, and Cedar won 5-1. During the senior night game, Rockefort walked off the deal in Cedar Springs Red Hawk varsity victory over Kenowa Hills during Game 1. Game 1, Cedar won 3-1, and Game 2, Cedar won 2-1. Girls soccer was wrapping up their conference tourney on Thursday. They played South Christian at home. South Christian won 2-0, and then on Monday was home against Thornapple Kellogg. Cedar won 5-1, bringing them to districts next week. Girls and boys track had their regional meet on Friday. Girls took 13th with a score of 10.5, and boys placed 7th with 30 points. Yesterday, Corey Bowers set a new school record on the 800-meter run, so congratulations to him. After this break, we're sending it back to our anchors, Madison and Skylar.
Tourette Syndrome, a disorder involving uncontrollable vocal and motor tics. Tourette's can be genetically given or can develop environmentally, aka trauma. Roughly 0.6% of children have Tourette's, including undiagnosed. Among the children with Tourette's, roughly 86% also have disorder like ADHD or anxiety. As of 2021, there is no known cure for Tourette's, but things like cognitive behavioral therapy, medications, and doing enjoyable things like playing with fidget toys can help calm down tics a bit. While Tourette's may be rare, it doesn't mean it's contagious or gross. Treat everyone as you would want to be treated.
Welcome back. For our final topic of this episode, we'll turn to Ella Buttermore, who will bring us into Cedar Springs High School's teachers' summer lives.
As summer approaches, we take a look into some of our teachers' summer plans.
My favorite part of summer is just the freedom to go out and enjoy the nice weather. I like golfing and cycling, so I'm excited to spend some time with my 3 boys this summer too.
My favorite part of summer would be just not worrying about lesson plans and grading.
My favorite part of summer happens the first day we get out of school, and I shut off my alarms. My phone alarm gets shut off. My alarm, I use a phone alarm, but I have an old school clock too, just in case. But they just get shut off, and I don't have to wake up to an alarm more than like 5 days all summer long.
So the one big vacation we're planning with my family is to go and check out Mammoth Caves in Tennessee. So we're planning on doing that in August.
Like I said, summer differs in the school year, number one, because there is no alarm clock. You just wake up when you want and do what you want to do. And then I'm free to do a lot of things. Like I don't have that regimented schedule. Like I'm constantly up at 6 o'clock and then at school until whatever or what it goes on. So you just have a little more free to make your own decisions and do your own stuff. And just having that freedom of doing whatever you want to do, really, rather than having to go to school every day is really nice to have.
Well, the weather during the school year is not nearly as nice as the summer. So during the summer we go camping for 1 week, and yeah, I do a lot of cycling. So I enjoy that kind of freedom to go do that and check out new places.
My favorite summer activities will have to be, it's a tough one because there's so many. Probably going to Lake Michigan, just hang out with my family, and my boys love it, and so does my husband, so that's probably the one thing that we're looking forward to every year.
Favorite summer things I do is I like to get outside and I like to travel. Generally, I try every summer to take 10 to 14 days or something like that and take off on the motorcycle and do a motorcycle trip somewhere. This summer I'm going to head out to Maine and enjoy the Northeast a little bit. A couple years ago I went all the way to the Pacific Northwest to Washington and rode out there. But I think just being outside in nature and doing that stuff is nice too, like spending time on the lake, spending time in the water. Just relaxing outside rather than being in an auditorium with no windows. It is nice to get out and just enjoy those things that are just peaceful and calming and relaxing.
Do I prefer summer or school year? Of course, summer. Who doesn't like extended vacation? Yes, I love summer break. I do enjoy school year, but it gets really tough at the end of the year to stay motivated, and because it's just like you're down on the home stretch, and you're like, I'm almost there.
I prefer the summer weather, but I like the pattern of being at work and at school and getting to see so many different people.
It's nice to see our teachers outside of school.
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of thought they lived here.
Well, that's going to end this week's episode of CedarSpringsTV Live.
And it's a great day to be a Red Hawk.